Before we begin, make sure you're somewhere quiet. Turn off the lights. Put on your headphones. Because the stories you're about to hear aren't just scary. These are the kinds of experiences people don't talk about. If you enjoy true horror stories, unsettling encounters, and disturbing events that happen to real people, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Now, let's begin. The first thing you need to understand is that I'm not the kind of person who opens the door for strangers. I double-check locks. I look through peepholes. I ignore knocks if I'm not expecting anyone. I grew up being told that most people who get hurt didn't think it would happen to them. That's why what happened still doesn't make sense to me. Because I did everything right. It was a Wednesday night, just after 11 p.m. I was home alone in my apartment, halfway through a movie I wasn't really watching. Outside, rain tapped against the windows in that steady, boring way that makes everything feel quieter than it should. Then there was a knock. Not loud. Not aggressive. 3 firm, confident knocks. I muted the TV and stayed still. The knock came again. Same rhythm. Same pressure. I walked slowly to the door and checked the peephole. A police officer stood outside. Full uniform. Badge. Utility belt. Radio clipped to his shoulder. He was standing slightly to the side of the door, just like they're trained to do. Calm posture. Hands visible. Police, he called through the door. Just need to ask you a couple of questions. My heart sped up, but not in a panic way. More like confusion. I hadn't done anything wrong. I asked through the door what this was about. There was a reported incident in the area, he said. Just routine. His voice was normal. Professional. Bored, even. I asked for his name. Officer Reynolds. I asked for his badge number. He leaned closer to the door so I could hear him clearly and read it out without hesitation. Everything felt right. Still, I didn't open the door. I told him I'd call the non-emergency line to confirm. There was a pause. Just long enough to notice. That's fine, he said. But we're trying to move quickly. There's been a home invasion nearby. That word, nearby, did something to my nerves. I called anyway. The line rang. Once. Twice. Then went dead. No busy signal. No voicemail. Just silence. I told him the call didn't go through. That happens sometimes, he said easily. Weather messes with the lines. He wasn't rushing me. That made it harder to say no. I asked if he could step back into view so I could see him again. He did. Same uniform. Same badge. Same calm expression. You mind opening the door? He asked. We just want to make sure you're safe. I unlocked the top lock. I didn't open it yet. I cracked the door just enough to keep the chain tight. The hallway light illuminated his face more clearly now. Late 30s. Clean shaven. Tired eyes. See, he said gently. Everything's fine. That's when I noticed something. His radio wasn't on. Not turned down. Off. I'd grown up around cops. Radios were always on. I asked him about it. He glanced down at it, then back up. Battery died, he said. Too fast. I felt that tight feeling in my chest, the one that tells you something's wrong but you don't know why yet. I told him I wasn't comfortable opening the door further. His expression changed. Not angry. Just blank. That's not really an option, he said. My stomach dropped. I told him to leave. He leaned closer to the door, lowering his voice. If you don't open this door, I'll have to come back with someone who won't knock. That was when I slammed the door shut and locked everything. I backed away, heart pounding. Through the door, I heard him sigh. Then his voice again, calm, almost disappointed. "You should have just let me in." I grabbed my phone and called 911. This time, it connected immediately. I told them everything in a rush. They asked for a description. I described him. There was a pause on the line. "Stay inside," the dispatcher said slowly. "Officers are on the way." I asked if they had an Officer Reynolds in my area. Another pause. "No," she said. "We don't." I felt dizzy. I asked her to stay on the line. That's when I heard the sound of something metal scraping against my door. Not forceful. Careful. Like someone testing it. The dispatcher told me to go somewhere safe and stay quiet. I locked myself in the bathroom and sat in the tub, holding my phone with both hands, barely breathing. From the hallway outside my apartment, I heard footsteps. Slow. Measured. Stopping right outside my door again. Then a knock. 3 taps. This time, his voice was different. Angrier. "You made this difficult," he said. "That's not how this usually goes." I heard the faint crackle of a radio. Not his. Real police. Then loud voices. Commands. Footsteps running. Silence. The officers arrived minutes later. They searched the building. They found a police uniform in the stairwell trash chute. Perfectly folded. No fingerprints. No ID. No body camera. They told me something I still think about almost every night. Fake police calls spike in my city during storms. People trust uniforms. People open doors. People don't scream because they think they're safe. 2 weeks later, I read about a woman a few blocks away. She opened her door. They never found who did it. Sometimes, when it rains at night, I still hear 3 knocks. Even though I moved. Even though I never answer. The police report says the front door showed no signs of forced entry. That single sentence is the reason this still doesn't make sense to anyone but me. Because I know I locked it. I lived with my younger sister in a rented house just outside the city. It was an old place, creaky floors, narrow hallways, doors that never closed quite right. The landlord always said it had character, which usually meant it hadn't been updated since the 90s. I worked early mornings. My sister worked late nights. That meant most nights, one of us was asleep while the other came home alone. The night this happened, I was asleep upstairs. I woke up to the sound of voices. At first, I thought it was a dream. My brain tried to explain it away as the TV downstairs or my sister talking on the phone. But then I heard footsteps. Heavy ones. Slow. Measured. The kind of footsteps that didn't belong to my sister. I checked my phone. 2:18 a.m. I sat up in bed, heart pounding, and listened. A man's voice drifted up the stairs. Calm. Confident. "I just need to check a few things," he said. My sister replied, her voice shaky but controlled. "I told you, I didn't call the police." "It wasn't you," the man said. "We had a report in the area." My blood ran cold. I crept to the top of the stairs and leaned against the wall, peeking down through the railing. A police officer stood in our living room. Full uniform. Badge. Belt. Everything. He was tall, broad-shouldered, standing near the couch like he belonged there. His hat sat on the coffee table. His hands rested casually on his belt. My sister stood near the kitchen doorway, arms crossed tightly over her chest. "I didn't hear you knock," she said. The officer smiled slightly. "I didn't want to wake anyone." I felt my stomach drop. That was when I realized something worse. The front door was closed. Locked. I knew because I always locked it before bed. Deadbolt. Chain. Habit drilled into me since childhood. I should have shouted. I should have called 911. Instead, I froze. Because part of me still believed the uniform. The officer glanced toward the stairs. Directly at me. Our eyes met. He didn't react. Didn't shout. Didn't acknowledge me at all. Just looked back at my sister. Anyone else home? He asked. No, she said quickly. I stayed still, barely breathing. The officer nodded. Good, he said. That word landed wrong. He walked toward the hallway leading to the bedrooms. Sir, my sister said, stepping in front of him. You can't go back there. He stopped. His expression didn't change, but the air felt heavier. I can, he said calmly. And I will. I moved then. I backed away from the stairs and quietly closed my bedroom door, locking it. My hands were shaking so badly I dropped my phone twice before unlocking it. I dialed 911. No answer. The call rang. Once. Twice. Then stopped. I tried again. Busy signal. Downstairs, I heard the officer's footsteps moving slowly through the house. Opening doors. Closing them. Checking rooms. Nice place, he said conversationally. Older houses have lots of hiding spots. My sister laughed nervously. Can you please tell me why you're here? There was a pause. I told you, he said. We had a report. A report of what? Another pause. Then. You. My phone buzzed. A text. Unknown number. Stay in your room. Don't make noise. My heart slammed against my ribs. I typed back, who is this? 3 dots appeared. Then disappeared. The footsteps started up the stairs. Slow. Intentional. Each step creaked louder than the last. I locked myself in the bathroom and crouched in the tub, holding my phone with both hands, trying not to sob. The footsteps stopped outside my bedroom door. I heard him test the handle. Locked. Silence. Then his voice, quieter now. You're the careful one, he said. I respect that. I heard him walk away. Back downstairs. My sister screamed. A sharp, panic sound that cut off suddenly. I ran to the top of the stairs. The living room was empty. The front door was still locked. My sister was gone. No broken windows. No forced entry. No signs of a struggle. Just her phone on the kitchen counter, screen cracked, recording still running. The audio picked up his voice. I'm not here to hurt you, he said softly. You just made it easy. The police found fingerprints. None matched any officer. They reviewed body cam footage. No officer had been dispatched to our address. The uniform was never found. 2 months later, I moved. New city. New locks. New routines. I live alone now. Last week, I woke up to the sound of footsteps downstairs. And a calm voice calling up the stairs. We need to talk about what you heard. The patrol car had no lights on. That should have been my first warning. It was just after 1 a.m., and I was driving home from my girlfriend's place. The highway was mostly empty, the kind of late-night quiet that makes every passing car feel louder than it should. I was 10 minutes from home when I noticed the car behind me. Black and white paint. Push bumper. Spotlight mounted on the side. A police cruiser. It stayed far enough back that I almost convinced myself I was imagining it. But every time I changed lanes, it followed. When I slowed down, it slowed too. My heart rate crept up. I checked my speed. Perfectly legal. No broken taillights. No expired plates. Still, when the red and blue lights flicked on, my stomach dropped. I pulled over immediately. The cruiser stopped behind me, angled slightly toward the road. The light stayed on, bathing the inside of my car in red and blue. I rolled my window down and kept my hands on the steering wheel like you're supposed to. The officer didn't approach right away. I waited. 30 seconds passed. A minute. Then the driver's door opened. The officer stepped out. Something about the way he walked bothered me. Too relaxed. Too casual. Like he wasn't in a hurry. Like this stop wasn't about procedure. He didn't shine his flashlight. Didn't adjust his belt. He stopped a few feet from my window. Evening, he said. His uniform looked real. Badge. Vest. Everything in place. But his car number wasn't visible. I told him good evening back. You know why I pulled you over? He asked. I said no. He leaned down slightly, resting his hands on the edge of my window. I didn't, he said. I just needed you to stop. My chest tightened. I laughed nervously, thinking it was a joke. It wasn't. He straightened up and took a step back. Turn the engine off, he said. I hesitated. He tilted his head. You don't want this to get complicated, he added. I turned the engine off. That's when I noticed something else. There was no second officer in the cruiser. And no radio chatter. No crackling. No voices. Just the hum of the lights. He reached into his jacket and pulled out a phone instead of a radio. Typed something. Then looked back at me. You live alone? He asked. I didn't answer. He smiled faintly. That's okay. We already know. My phone buzzed in the cup holder. Unknown number. We're right behind you. Do what he says. My hand started shaking. I asked him what this was. He leaned in closer, his voice dropping. This is the part where people usually argue, he said. You're doing better than most. I asked for his badge number. He laughed. Doesn't matter. Then, finally, he told the truth. We're not police, he said. We just look like them because it saves time. My mouth went dry. He motioned toward the back seat. Unlock the doors. I didn't move. He straightened up again and nodded toward the dark stretch of road behind us. Another car pulled over. No lights. No markings. Just headlights shutting off. Two figures stepped out. My phone buzzed again. Last chance. I slammed my door shut and tried to start the car. Nothing. The engine didn't turn over. The officer sighed. Told you not to make it complicated. I heard footsteps on both sides of my car. Hands grabbed the door handles. They didn't rush. They didn't yell. They knew I was trapped. I screamed and laid on the horn. The sound echoed down the highway. For a moment, I thought it worked. Headlights appeared in the distance. The men froze. Then the lead officer leaned down and whispered through my window. People don't stop for police activity. The headlights passed by. Gone. They dragged me out. The last thing I saw was the patrol car's trunk opening. Inside were more uniforms. More badges. Different names. Different departments. All fake. I woke up in a ditch miles away. My car was gone. So were my wallet, phone, and shoes. The police found me hours later. They believed my story. That's the worst part. Because they already had reports. Same highway. Same method. Fake patrol car. Fake stop. No suspects. No arrests. Last week, I was driving again for the first time since it happened. A cruiser pulled in behind me. Lights off. Keeping distance. I didn't wait this time. I floored it. In my rearview mirror, the lights came on. And then another set. And another.